watching free weekly tutorials with acrylic artist Joni Young. Everyone, welcome back to my studio. I'm acrylic artist Joni Young, and today I'm going to be showing you how to paint Young at Heart with only one brush. So let's begin with sky blue and a filbert brush. Pulling it across the top of the canvas and around the edges, scumbling. Let's pick up some more. No water on your brush. Now let's take some white and softly blend that into the blue. And now just wiggle around with your brush, creating little bits of clouds and maybe bushes way off in the distance. And a bit more white for some lighter areas. And let's just start pulling up and down with our brush with some more of the blue. Now some phthalo green. Without washing your brush off, pull back and forth side to side. And then darker on the bottom with some ultramarine blue. A little bit on the sides and the top of the canvas. Now some more green. And scumble softly around just above the water for some more bushes. Now this is all very loosely painted. We're not doing a lot of detail. Now picking up some more blue, let's cut in the corner of the bottom right. This will be the foreground. And let's pull some more lines in so that it looks a little bit more like water. Now adding some more of the ultramarine blue on the bottom right side. Taking some sky blue now. Turning my brush over and blending softly into the green and the ultramarine blue. Now you can use other variations of these colors if you like. Any green, any like blue green, and any blues that you like. More white, soft little circles and scumbling and blending around. Nothing too detailed. And from the center of that white area, we're just going to do soft flicks back and forth with hardly any paint on our brush. So a little bit of white. And now with a clean brush and neon yellow with titanium white, we're going to bring in some warmth back there and a real soft glow. Mixing a little bit of neon pink as well. In with the yellow and the white to create a light peachy color. More yellow with soft little peaks of clouds. Now let's mix up some ultramarine blue and some burnt sienna. Loading both sides of the brush. I'm going to start coming in with a tree. Using the tip of my brush, wiggling. I want it to be a really old, funky looking tree that has lots of character, and it's going to be on a slant slightly with lots of curves and bumps on it. Now you don't have to paint yours exactly like mine. Something similar with your own flair and style. Now, without washing my brush, I'm picking up some neon pink and yellow, no white, and I'm just adding some more warmth to the tree, right around the center where that light is kind of be peeking through. And lots of wiggles for those branches using the very tip of my brush. Now phthalo green and burnt sienna, and I'm just doing a swirly sort of figure eight pattern just for fun. You don't have to do this, of course. It's just kind of fun to do different patterns and experiment around with different ways of painting foliage. And here I've got some neon yellow mixed with a little bit of that phthalo green. And then I added a little bit of white to the neon yellow. Seeing as how I know it's going to dry a bit darker, so if I want it to be that bright highlight green right there, I know I need to add a bit of white so that when it dries it'll still be that color. And we'll add a little bit down by the tree, giving a suggestion that there's a little bank there, and later on we'll bring in a little path or some stairs. Now back to the dark phthalo and some burnt sienna for the shadow. And a little bit more around the left side. Let's add the shadow wherever we feel like we really want to have a nice moody contrast and vibe. So if you want a more of a light-hearted painting and a bit softer, then you would do less shadow. Okay, let's come in with a few more branches. Not thinking too much about exactly where I'm going to put them. I'm just letting the painting and my brush guide me. So just straight burnt sienna in the center where it's going to be lighter around the hot pink and the yellow. More green right here, tapping lightly and then pulling and flicking down for that hanging moss and vine kind of a feel. So light little tap and dragging, barely touching the canvas to get that effect. And where you want your brighter highlights, just add more yellow and less green. A little bit of white, holding my brush to the side, pulling and dragging lightly. Let's add a little bit more right up there. And some, oh, that looks really cool. Some bright yellow right in there next to the, right next to that pink and the peach color. And then let's do some soft little rays right in there with some more green. Maybe those sun rays are hitting some bushes and trees way off in the distance. And let's mix up a little bit more of that pretty, well, it's supposed to be orange, but I think it's got more of a pink tone to it right now, but I like that, so I'm just going to keep it just like that. Then where I want it to be warmer, I'll add a bit more yellow. Okay, let's add some straight neon pink now, ripples in the water, and some flowers, and so the ripples in the water are like a reflection of those flowers. That's why we see that color there. And then little dabs of yellow for the center of the flowers and maybe some highlights. And then just for fun, I thought I'd pull very, very lightly off of those flowers into those sun rays. I just thought it might make it look a little bit more magical and dreamy. Adding a little bit of pink around the tree and behind the bottom of the tree roots, just at the base of the tree there. And some right there. Let's just pull over, make it look swirly. Pull a little bit up right there so that there's like a little door, an entrance or archway. You could change the door if you want. You could put like a little window on it or a door handle. Some more sweeps with your brush. And for a fun shadow color, I thought I would just go with straight ultramarine or cobalt blue here. And it's very complementary to all the peach and bits of orange that we have going on as well. I don't think I've ever done an entire painting with just one brush before. This was a one brush challenge that I gave myself, and I'd like to invite you guys to take on this challenge as well. So try it for yourselves to do one whole painting using one brush only. It doesn't have to be the filbert brush, it can be any brush of your choice. Any style of painting, abstract, impressionism, anything you want. So you can see, using the tip of this brush, you can tap lots and lots down one side and then the other side to make it look like little ferns or palm leaves, or just use your imagination, any kind of plant or vine hanging from this tree. It's a fantasy world, so it doesn't have to be real. You make it whatever you want it to be. That's just why I have so much fun and kind of lose myself in creating these pieces. No rules at all, I just do whatever I want. And let's take some cobalt blue here. Right up against that pink. Don't cover it completely though. And in this light it's taking on a purple tone. Let's tap a little bit more on the left side for some more shadow at the top. And I want to have some more burnt sienna right up in here. Tap and pull and sweep. And let's add a little bit of a fern leaf or vine down on the bottom right as well. Okay, let's do a little bit more of those sun rays using titanium white, a little bit of pink and yellow. Now we'll begin the rainbow. Neon pink first with white, then yellow with white. Over part of the pink will create orange. And I just want that red to show up a little bit more. Red pink, it's kind of the same once it's mixed with a little bit of yellow. It'll look either a little bit more red or a bit more pink. Then we'll take some phthalo green, pull that through with white. Every color that you add for your rainbow, I want you to pick up a little bit of white with it. So then I used sky blue and then ultramarine blue. And then I also have a neon violet purple right here that I pulled in, and it's whole bean luminous neon acrylic. Just tapping in some more little whimsical looking clouds, fluffy swirly clouds back there. It's just so much fun to use this brush. Add some more purple. And then let's start our second rainbow. We're starting with purple this time, then blue, then the phthalo green with the white. If it doesn't show up against that background, just add a little bit more white, and then neon yellow. Once you're done with the yellow, you're going to wash your brush out. Make sure you have all that green and blue out, and go over to your hot pink and white. And remember, when you want to make orange, you'll mix the yellow with the neon pink and the white. So that's the trick to getting your rainbows to look really soft and sort of hazy looking and not too dark, is to add just a little bit of white to all the colors each time. And this is just a fantasy piece, of course. If I was trying to make these rainbows look real, and I might do a tutorial in the future on a more realistic way of painting rainbows. They can be quite tricky to paint. I might do that in the future. So they're pretty see-through looking with just a little bit of color to them. And let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing. Leave a comment below. And here I'm just adding a few little lines, smaller at the base of the entrance into the tree, and then they get wider as they come towards us in the foreground. And we've got instant stairs. And I just decided I wanted to add a third rainbow here. This one's smaller and further away. And we'll begin with pink and white, yellow and white, with the pink to make orange, and then yellow. Wash your brush out, go to your phthalo green and white, then your sky blue and white, then your ultramarine blue, and then your purple. Just taking a little bit of white to soften in between those rainbows. And then just tapping in to create like a soft little bit of fog or mist at the bottom of that rainbow. And a little bit of neon yellow and white, scumbling and tapping lightly. Now using the very tip of the brush, pulling and dragging a little bit of phthalo green, ultramarine blue, and burnt sienna for the darkest parts of the foliage on the tree. I just wanted these to stand out a little bit more and have a bit more contrast to them. And you can still see bits of the lighter green and yellow through them. And more burnt sienna. So burnt sienna has a lot of red to it, which is very, even though it's brown, it's very complementary to the phthalo green in this painting. It's my favorite go-to for browns. I love red, and so if I can choose a brown that has a lot of red in it, I will. Using our neon violet, let's create a few little flowers and bushes right here. Some more white and neon yellow. Just going to lightly tap in these little areas inside all of the branches where I have little pockets. I want to create little pockets of light in there. Tapping very lightly for a little bit of foliage on the edge of those stairs. And then right up on either side of the tree, just a hint of that yellow and white. Now let's begin painting our stars. Taking a little bit of yellow and white, you'll make soft circles, and then take white paint only and tap each one of them lightly in the center. If they don't show up, then go back for more paint and re-tap again. Some at the top and in the vines hanging from the tree. Now I'm just going over my red with a bit more hot pink. I wanted it just a little bit more vivid. And on some of those little stars, little hints of yellow and pink. Now, if you're having trouble getting the white right in the center, just flip your brush over and dip the end of it into the paint and then tap lightly inside each star. And I'm adding a little bit of sky blue and ultramarine blue on the left around those stars for more of a shadow and to make those stars stand out a bit more. They were sort of getting lost. So with the edge of my brush on the side, I'm lining it up on the stars where I have those dots and lightly flicking, short little flicks, no pressure at all. If you push hard, you'll make really thick lines, and you want them to be really skinny. You can make some of the lines longer and some of them shorter. It's up to you. Now I did another tutorial all about falling stars, shooting stars, and a crescent moon, and sort of like nebulas in a galaxy. It's all in pastel colors. So if you want to learn more, I'll leave a link below in the description box that you can click on and it'll take you directly to that video. Oh, I just want to add a few more stars right down here. So it instantly makes the rainbow look like it's behind them, which is kind of cool. And a larger one down on the bottom right. A few more right in there, inside those little pockets. And I think I'm just about done here. Thank you so much for joining me again, you guys. Hope you enjoyed this one and create one yourself. See you next time, everyone.